Hey everyone, Vinayak here. I have had a ton of tablets and most of them were Android, but only one was from Apple, which is the older iPad. This is the Generation 7 iPad, and this is the only one that actually lasted me at that price. And I wanted the latest and greatest iPad, and I was always contemplating, do I take a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro or an iPad? But at the end, I picked up an iPad Pro, and this is the 13-inch version. Let's see what benefits or features this one provides over the older one. So this is the 13-inch iPad Pro with the M4 chip. You can see Pro written on the box, hidden in the design. Apple does this with their boxes. This is the 256GB Wi-Fi only model. Let's open it up. Here we go. It's got the right grip or resistance when opening. Feels premium. The protective plastic looks rippled and the iPad is so light. Under the main device we have the paperwork, just a quick startup guide. No stickers, which I never use anyway, but still it's missing. Power adapter, we don't get to see these anymore with Apple devices, and this is 20 watts and we are also provided a USB-C to USB-C cable. I'm glad Apple has shifted to USB-C now. Now back to the main device. Remove the protective cover and what's this? Fingerprints? Quite visible fingerprints, and this is a brand new device ordered from Apple's own website. Apple, you need to improve your quality. I purchased a new device and I don't expect to see fingerprints on it. That's sad, and I will be complaining to Apple customer care once I record this video. The back of the iPad, which I picked up in space black, looks clean. I got my name and website engraved on the back, which is a free service on the Apple website. Let's turn the device on and set it up. Here we are. Setup is the same as with all mobile devices. As I have an Apple ID, I logged in. Set up Wi-Fi, set up Face ID, and we are done. I have other accessories too, like this Apple Pencil Pro. I have my name engraved onto the Pencil too, which is also a free service. Pairing the Apple Pencil Pro is easy. Just dock it to the side of the iPad. Takes some getting used to, and the orientation should be correct too. It attaches magnetically and we get a pop-up to set up the Apple Pencil Pro. The new Apple Pencil Pro has this squeeze functionality which opens up a menu within apps like Freeform, which is by Apple. Other apps also do support the feature, but not all as yet. Scribble is a way to just write on screen and it gets converted to editable text, which is cool, but so yesteryear. Docking the Apple Pencil to the side also charges the pencil. So as long as your iPad is charged and the pencil is docked to your iPad, it will stay charged. The pencil attaching to the iPad magnetically is so satisfying. Here's the back of the iPad Pro and the Apple logo is here. And these three prongs are used to connect the iPad accessories like keyboards, etc., which allows for both power and data transfer. We have only one 12-megapixel camera at the rear with an aperture of f1.8. Not the best, but it still has one at least. Other iPads used to have two, which one of them is supposed to be ultra-wide. And what's the second lens, you might ask? That's the LiDAR sensor, which uses a laser to calculate the distance to the object in front of the camera. We also have a True Tone flash, which changes the color as per the ambient lighting color. What's special about this iPad is the size, specifically the ultra thin profile, just 5.1 mm, and the weight is around 579 grams. It's both thin and light. And we have the volume controls on the side here, and the power button can be found on the top. The iPad has 4 speakers, 2 on the top and 2 below next to the USB-C port. Multiple microphones allow for better noise cancellation. I also picked up this smart Folio case to protect my iPad Pro. It's an expensive device, so it's best to get all the protection that you can get. Picked it up in black to match my iPad. It's also available in white and denim. Simple case, it attaches to the iPad using magnets, and when closed, the iPad is set to sleep, which is nice. So you open it, it breaks, close, and it sleeps. Installation is easy, match the camera cutout, and it just snaps on. This is how it looks on the back. And there we go. It's quite sleek and low profile, not making the iPad much bigger or heavier. It does add a bit of weight, but not much. The case also folds down to act as a stand, and we have 2 angles that we can rest it at. So this is one and the other is like so. The iPad is impressively thin, and they did get a lot of flack with the advert, which seems to be deleted. But honestly, it is a marvel, and in this form factor with all the tech crammed in, the display is a marvel in itself, providing a superior color and brightness, rivaling Pro displays at least 10 to 20 times cost. Actually, the iPad's cost. It's marketed as the 13-inch Ultra Retina XDR display. The tandem OLED display panels, tandem indicating dual displays, allows for the true blacks which are provided by OLED panels, but also allows to circumvent the brightness problem, achieving 1000 nits of brightness and can boost up to 1600 for HDR content. 2:1 contrast ratio is like, wow. Resolution wise, we have 2752 by 2064 at 264 ppi. It has ProMotion tech, which is Apple's peak for 120 Hz refresh rate. It also supports 10 to 120 Hz adaptive refresh rate, where allowing to dial down the refresh rate allows to save on battery. And P3 color gamut or wide color gamut is supported for vibrant visuals, and it's great for artists and creators. Also great for media consumption, as it stays true to the colors the content was created in. We also have the option for True Tone, where the screen changes the tone to warm or cool as per the ambient lighting conditions. I have the standard glass model. There is an option for nano textured glass, but it's only available in the 1TB and 2TB models. It helps with reflections, but I have no problems with this one. The 1000 nits allows for more readability outdoors in bright sunlight. Being the M4 model iPad, it comes with a 9-core CPU, which consists of 3 performance cores and 6 efficiency cores. It also has a 10-core GPU with hardware accelerated ray tracing. 16-core neural engine. Not that you're going to be able to run large LLMs locally. It should help with Apple Intelligence features, which might release soon. Apple is currently in a jam about that too. The 256 and 512GB models come with only 8GB of RAM. The 1TB and 2TB models raise it to 16GB and also adds another core to the M4 CPU. Basically, Apple dangling a carrot to higher tiers. And 256 is fine by me at present. If I need more, I can always attach a USB-C storage device for more storage. The jump in price between each category is crazy. It's like 20k for just 256GB. What? My goodness, Apple tax is ridiculous. And 1TB of NVMe storage costs only 5000 rupees, which is 1000 GB, and Apple charges 20,000 rupees per 256 GB. But still, at least we have an option for the 256 GB, which is not a lot, but not too little too. Camera, as I had stated earlier, it comes with a 12 megapixel wide sensor with an aperture of f1.8. It can record videos in 4K at 24, 25, 30 and 60 FPS. Digital zoom is available, allowing for up to 5x zoom, but is digital zoom, not optical. And 1080p video can be recorded at 25, 30 and 60 FPS, and 720p video can be recorded at 30 FPS only. ProRes video recording is also supported up to 4K at 30 FPS and 1080p at 30 FPS for 256GB storage. If you do not have more than 256GB, if you have the 256GB version, you can record 1080p at 30 FPS. Here again, features are culled due to the space. But ProRes 4K footage does take a lot of space and fast, so that's kind of understandable. The adaptive True Tone flash allows for natural colors, and it changes the tone as per the external lighting. So you get natural skin tones. Under the camera sensor is the LiDAR sensor, also called a depth sensor, which allows for better depth information, which is useful for portrait photos where we need the depth of field effect. 3D artists can also use this sensor to create 3D models by photographing actual items and making a model of it. The front camera is 12 megapixels ultra-wide sensor, which allows for a cool feature called center stage. Center stage keeps you in the center of the video even if you're moving on your chair or walking around. So great for video calls. And next to the camera is the Face ID dot projector, which projects multiple dots onto your face to detect your face. This allows for more precise 3D face scanning as compared to using only the traditional camera unlocking method. So we also have a pin backup unlock method if Face ID has a problem. I found Face ID works well even at an angle, so you don't have to lift the iPad off the table for Face ID. I have the Wi-Fi only version, which supports Wi-Fi 6E. Connection quality is good. I felt no connection loss or slowdown in Wi-Fi speed. And battery. Apple claims 17 hours of battery life. I have seen a few YouTubers mention only 10. As I use this device at home with access to a power outlet, it didn't affect me much. I did notice that the battery does drop even if the iPad is in sleep mode, which in comparison to MacBooks is surprising. We can also connect the iPad Pro to an external display up to 6K. That's cool. I am trying it with a 4K display and activating Stage Manager. It allows using the external monitor as a secondary display, not just mirroring the display of the iPad. Add an external Bluetooth keyboard and mouse and we have a full desktop experience. Next, we have the Apple Pencil, one of the main reasons to get the iPad. I did look at other brands like Samsung's S10 Ultra Tab. Availability was more of a problem and pricing being similar, I went with Apple. The Apple Pencil Pro is easy to use and feels like a normal pencil to use, and the pixel perfect precision, low latency and palm rejection support is what makes it a dream to use. Do note, I am not much of a 2D artist, but it's still a hobby of mine. I have already shown the squeeze function option earlier, which only works on the Apple Pencil Pro. It also allows for barrel roll, especially for calligraphy pens, where you change the nib angle virtually by rotating the pencil. Hover is also a new feature on the Apple Pencil, which is something most artists would be used to on their drawing tablets. Double tap allows for switching between tools, like so. Now I'm in pen mode, double tap and it switches to eraser mode. Also, this shadow you see here is virtual. It's being made on the iPad. It's not an actual shadow. Mind blown. And the pencil also provides haptic feedback when you switch between modes, like a slight pulse to indicate that the gesture has succeeded. It works like a real pencil. Tilting the pencil allows for shading as you would with an actual pencil. Pressure sensitivity darkens or lightens the lines and also the width can also be varied according to how much pressure you place on it. The pencil can also be added to Apple's Find My network, which allows you to find it easily in case it's misplaced. I got this engraving done for more personalization and to also not get it jumbled with other users' pencils. And the Apple Pencil works with the iPad Pro both on the M4 13 and 11-inch models. The iPad Air M2 and M3 13 and 11-inch models also support it, and also the iPad mini with the A17 Bionic CPU supports the Apple Pencil Pro. There are other models like the USB-C pencil, which I didn't like at all as it just juts off your iPad, and the Apple Pencil Pro is just so much more premium. The USB-C port on the iPad is Thunderbolt 4, allowing for fast storage and accessory connectivity. So what I really loved about the iPad 13 is the size of the screen, and the tandem LED screen really brings out the colors on it. You have Face ID to unlock, which is good and also bad at the same time, and the Apple Pencil is really good to use. It's really smooth. But what I feel where it does lose a little bit is the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro at the same price provides a keyboard and it is an actual laptop compared to iPad OS that is running on this iPad over here. But what I picked up this iPad for is its drawing capabilities, because I was actually thinking of drawing comics and actually get back into art. So this iPad is actually helpful to me, and the pencil, it works really well. It's really good, and it has a lot of brushes and a lot of styles, and it's really made drawing easy for me too. And this big 13-inch canvas really helps to get more space to work in actually. Battery life, they say that it is bad, but as I'm using it close to a charger always, there's no problem at all, and the pencil can always keep charged by just attaching itself to the side of the iPad, which is a plus. The Apple Pencil is not that protected. It can fall off easily, especially within the bag, and it can break, which is a big investment. I did pick up a small case for when used while traveling, so that's something you will need. The magnetic cover should have come with a slot for the Apple Pencil, as we don't always need to charge it. Speakers is really good. The image quality in Netflix, Prime Video, everything, it just looks really good. Watching movies is really good on this. Only thing is the aspect ratio is more. It's not the real widescreen, so you do lose a lot on the sides, but most of everything else looks really nice on it. The colors are really good, and because of the tandem OLED panels, you have better colors and also better brightness, which is actually a bad part in OLEDs. OLEDs do not have much brightness, but because of the tandem OLED screens, it gets better brightness. It does come with a 20-watt charger, which is out of the box, which is great, because a lot of these devices are actually not having a charger in the box. And this is USB-C to USB-C. So if you have another USB-C cable, you can always use that with this instead if you want more longer than what is provided. And of course, I picked up a case for it also, which is actually magnetic. It's easy to pop on and off. It just sticks via magnets over here. So that's pretty cool. And the iPad is nicely protected. So would I recommend this tablet to anyone? It is still a really good tablet, and if you are an artist, of course, it's a really good choice. But for normal use and for standard YouTube streaming, video streaming, it's still good. But price-wise, it is a little too high. This is the Pro version. You also have the iPad Air, which is the M3 chip. This is the M4 version, which is much more powerful compared to the M3. But it's still, I think, it's overpowered for what it's supposed to be doing, actually. And Face ID is the only way you can unlock this tablet, which gets irritating once in a while. If it had a fingerprint scanner maybe in the power button, it would have been nice. But I'm still loving this tablet. It's a really good tablet. So what do you guys think? Should you be picking up one at that price? Because this thing can actually, if you spec it out, it can go up to maybe 2.4 lakhs if you take the highest one. But this is the lowest end model with the 256GB storage, and it comes with only 8GB RAM, because if you have the lower storage, you get only 8GB RAM. If you want 16GB, you need to go for the 1TB or the 2TB version. But for drawing, for artists, it is a good choice. So what do you guys think? Is it a good choice? Make sure to comment below. Also make sure to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when new videos are added. Thank you for watching, and see you all next time.